No, this is my first time using this microphone and I didn't know the quality was not that good and I have no other microphone to record with. Greetings, everyone. I'd like to share how the recent 2026 stock market correction has affected my TQQQ put option selling. Back on November 4th, 2025, when TQQQ was at $55 a share, I sold slash opened a $35 put expiring on June 18th, 2026 and collected $329 in premium. On February 4th, after TQQQ had dropped to $49, I closed that option for a $64 profit and I opened a new $35 put, but this one expiring on September 18th, 2026, and I received $394 in premium. On March 3rd, after TQQQ had dropped a bit more and volatility had gone up, I closed that put for a $61 loss and took more risk by opening up a $40 put expiring on September 18th, and I collected $615. On March 20th, after TQQQ had dropped even more to $43, I closed that put for an $86 loss and opened a new September 18 put with a $39 strike and got $655 in premium. Now, some of you may be wondering why I've made so many moves instead of just waiting it out. Well, when I closed the $35 put for a $61 loss and decided to raise the strike to $40, it was because I thought the market was going to bounce back or have a rally soon since it had been 4 months of TQQQ going down from $55 to $48. Another week went by and again the sell off got worse, this time with TQQQ dropping to $38. They closed the $39 put for a $126 loss and opened a new September 18th put at a $38 strike and was deposited $729 in premium, and that's where I'm at now with a $209 realized loss. Now, what would have happened if I kept my original put from way back in November and made no moves at all? Well, as of March 28th, 2026, that same put is now paying $415 in premium, which means I would have been down only $86 instead of $209. But again, that was the risk I took for hoping or thinking that TQQQ would bounce back and give me a greater profit. Now let's view this a different way. Let's go back to November 4th, 2025 when TQQQ was at $55. Say my account began at $4,500. Like I said, I originally used $3,500 for the original put, which left $1,000 cash left over. But with the $329 in premium, the total cash balance became $1,329. We follow all the transactions I made, we end up at a $4,291 balance, which is the $209 current loss, with $1,220 available in cash. But what I wanted to compare is what if instead of using the $3,500 for the original put back in November, I had instead bought $3,500 worth of TQQQ shares? That would have been about 63 shares, and right now they would be down about $1,056. So that's a reason I prefer selling puts on TQQQ instead of buying and holding it, because when it pulls back, the losses are less. But when TQQQ rallies, the gains are also less. However, if we look at the 5-year chart, we can see how often it's pulled back, which means that if someone had bought and held shares since October 29th, 2021 or July 5th, 2024, when TQQQ was at $38 and $40, that means that 1.5 to 4.5 years later, those shares have not appreciated in price. Meanwhile, put selling could have profited along the way, which brings me to the final part of this video. It's almost been 5 months since November 2025, and TQQQ is down 30%, but my balance is down 4.6%. Also, even if TQQQ is only at $40 a share in September 2026, which is a 27% decline from its November 2025 price, the put options would still have produced a $520 profit, which is an 11.5% increase, because the put would expire worthless. But to be fully fair, I'll mention this. If right now, with TQQQ at $38, we sold a $35 or $40 put expiring September 18th, 2026, the max profit we would make is what the premium is, which is $600 or $825. But if TQQQ somehow gets back up to $55 or more in September, the profit would have been $1,463 or $1,673 from having bought the shares directly. Look, everybody,